You're a grown-ass man. I blame my parents, though. Anything related to puberty, they bully me, so I blame my parents. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, they told everyone, Silas needs to have an operation. It's penis reduction surgery. Everyone believed them. Like, even I believed them. But the reason why I believed them is because I had just been to the doctor's office. And they were looking in that general area, you know. I was like, it checks out. I guess they're just gonna, you know, half of it gone. I didn't ask my parents about it for a long time. I was getting older. I was like, I should, you know, probably look into this a little bit. So I asked my mom, like, did I really have penis reduction surgery? She started laughing at me. She's like, Silas, we forgot to tell you. It wasn't penis reduction surgery. Just when your testicles didn't descend down into your sack as you were getting older. So we just had surgery to fix that. But we told everyone it was penis reduction surgery because we didn't want you to be embarrassed, you know? Or get bullied in school. I was like, why tell anyone? You know? Like, why not just keep it our fun little secret we joke about, haha, what are your testicles? And secondly, Mom, I'm homeschooled. So who's gonna bully me but, you know, you guys, you know? Screwed up. I blame my parents. I do. I am finding out that there is humor in pain. Like, as I get a little bit older, like, there is some humor in pain. Like, when I was a kid, pain was just pain. There's nothing funny about it. But I started to realize there is kind of funny things in pain. Like a few months ago, we got a call that my wife's grandfather had been rushed to the hospital. There's many ups and downs with him. He was in the hospital for almost 6 months. In that time, the first 20 days, they cut him open 12 times, 12 surgeries. It's very hard on my wife. She's very close to her grandparents. We're at the hospital almost every day. I had a lot of time in the waiting room, think about all the time we'd spent with him, all the dinner parties, all the holidays. And I thought back to a time when I had first met him. He found out I did comedy. He's like, what do you talk about, you know? Talk about my dick getting cut off. He thought that was funny. One of the days, got to go in and see him. It's just him and I in the room. The doctors had him heavily sedated. He didn't really open his eyes. So I looked at him and I was like, he thinks dick jokes are funny. So I just walked over to him, I took his hand, leaned in close, and I just whispered in his ear. It's like, you're killing my sex life right now. He didn't open his eyes, but just the corner of his mouth went up a little bit. It was like, he heard me. I know he heard me. My work here is done, you know. No, he's out of the hospital now. He's doing very well. We're very thankful for that. My sex life is back on track, you know. It's good. It's very good. My brother and I are very close. Like I said, I was homeschooled. We like to do things together. So one day we decided it would be a good idea to take an edible before going to dinner with our parents. So we take the edible, we sit down to dinner. Midway through dinner, my brother looks over at me with the highest look I've ever seen. He was like, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you're high, sometimes you act really weird. So my brother looked over at me and was like, Silas, we can't get stuck in a laughing loop about anything in front of mom and dad, or they're gonna know we're high. Swear to you guys, a guy in his 80s at the table beside us, he sneezed and farted at the exact same time. It's like one of those ones where he had to cover his mouth and his ass at the same time. It's like, oh God! We about lost it. My brother was twigging out. He was sitting over there. He's like, it's crazy. not too long ago, and I have a friend of a friend that's going through a divorce. He keeps trying to hit on my wife. Wasn't worried about it, because my wife's a snow bunny. He's a little white guy. If you guys don't know what a snow bunny is, it's a white girl that only dates black guys. So he's a white guy, wasn't worried about it, you know. So we saw him like a week later. I've never seen a tanner white person in my life. I swear, he must have spent like an hour in the tanning bed every day that entire week. Just think Michael Jackson in reverse, you know? He moonwalked right back into that tan. He walked over to me, he's like, oh, well, how about now, you know? I could probably steal her now. Same color, I just looked over to my brother and was like, I don't think he realizes, you know, what really locks in a snow bunny. You're catching my drift, you know? My brother just looks over at me and he's like, don't forget you had penis reduction surgery. That's my time, guys. Have a good one, guys.
This is a tiny stage. Sweet. Bear with me, I'm very hungover, folks. I had a night last night. Anybody else hungover? Yep. Alright, sweet. Alright, you're my friends. I'm just getting right into it. It's important to keep things exciting in the bedroom, folks. And one of my favorite ways to do that is to role play. And one of my favorite role plays is like Asian schoolgirl role play. And that's basically just what it sounds like. I had a girl dressed up in a stereotypical Asian schoolgirl outfit with like the knee-high socks and the skirt, and then like the blouse, and then I lock her in a room for 8 hours and make her practice the violin. It's really hot. So I recently bought a dash cam, all those cameras you put like on the front of your car, and I got it for the sole purpose of recording my morning commute to work. And I just wanted to record it once, and I did that. And then I also bought an exercise bike. And what I've been doing is playing that video of my morning commute on my TV and watching that while I ride my exercise bike, just to like remind myself of what my life would become if I got one more DUI. So I'm a feminist, because I'm trying to get laid and shit. And I was reading some feminist literature the other day, and the author was talking about penis envy, like phenomenon where women get like jealous of men for having penises and they don't. I don't know, I'm dumb and I didn't understand. I think it's got something to do with like how when us guys are naked, we can like swivel our hips and slap our dicks against our thighs, and that's really fun. I don't know. I just don't get it. Because I got like pussy envy. I think the vagina is the superior genital. Right, ladies? Yeah, sweet. And I like, because try as I might, I've never been able to make my penis toot. And I've tried. It sounds like peeing a little. Any UFC fans in the house? Right now. All of you, wow. I'm a basic bitch, so I like that shit. I was watching with a buddy of mine though recently, and he had never seen it before. This is his first time watching it. He made the comment that he thought it was a little homoerotic. I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, it's just two like sweaty, mostly naked men wrestling, writhing, holding one another in their strong arms. I was like, hold it right there, man. That's what you and me are doing. Those two guys are fighting. Hold me like you mean it for forever, you son of a gun. No, we were actually sitting on the couch, fully clothed, minimal writhing involved, but he did make that comment. That he thought it was kind of homoerotic. I was like, well, be that as it may, it's not why I watch it. I watch it because I appreciate the athleticism involved and the martial arts technique exhibited. It's really fun to jack off to. Anybody here watch porn? But I don't understand it these days. There's all these like new genres that I find strange and frightening. Like there's like the step family stuff that seems big. There's free use porn, which is disconcerting. There's like even like ASMR porn, which I guess is cool if you like to fall asleep with a boner. I don't know. But I don't know. It just makes me like nostalgic for the porn that I knew as a boy. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned POV interracial double anal squirting videos I grew up on, you know? Whatever happened to those? You gotta be careful with porn, though. You can watch too much, and it can negatively affect your So, probably not surprising, but I'm single. Not funny. Single, divorced, if you want to be a dick about it, or just laugh when I say I'm single, motherfuckers. It's pretty crazy like how my standards have just been like rapidly and exponentially declining the longer I remain single. Because when I was first divorced, I had like all these delusions of grandeur surrounding my next partner. I was like, oh, I want to find a woman that's pretty and smart and likes the things I like and pays for her own cocaine. It's really unrealistic expectations, and they stayed there briefly, but like quickly fell to like where I'd see a woman who's like, damn, she walks normal. Doesn't look for nothing, I'll take it. Stayed there briefly and quickly fell to where I'd see a woman who's like, oh, damn, she might have a vagina. I like those. Now I see somebody, I'm just like, ooh, they biologically have to have an asshole, right? And even if they don't, that's fine, we'll figure something out. I did go on a date recently, if you can believe it, and it was going well. We were knocking back drinks, conversation was flowing, eventually it got late, and she asked if I want to go back to her place. It had been a while since someone asked me that, so I got excited, like in my head, and I was doing cartwheels and high-fiving my imaginary friends, but I played it cool, and said yes, and she's like, all right, well, before you come over, something to tell you. She proceeded to tell me that she's trans, that she still has a penis, she plans on getting the operation done at some point, but it costs a lot. She's saving up money for it, and I can empathize with that because I've always found pussy to be quite expensive myself. But I was in a bit of a dilemma. It's like one of my favorite parts of having sex with a woman, traditionally, has been the vagina. So I was in a bit of a dilemma, and I thought about it. I was like, well, I'm trying to, like it's 2024, I'm trying to experience new things, and I am drunk. And I guess it's not like gay or whatever to give someone's future vagina a hand job. Just basic politeness, I think. So, needless to say, I went back to her place, had a great night. Funnily enough, it's the only time I've ever been able to make a woman squirt, so that was pretty sweet. All right, everybody. I'm Caleb. Thanks a lot.
Jesus, what a day I've had today. Earlier, I was in Sparta. Anybody from Sparta? No. The gateway to Cedar Rapids. Are you Sparta?
No, Sparta.
Oh, Sparta. I'm in Sparta today, Jesus. And I'm stopped at a stop sign, and this old lady came and hit me from behind. And then she gets out of her car, and she likes walking around. She's got a cane. I'm trying not to swear. She's got a cane, and she's like hobbling over. And I'm getting out of the car. I go to meet her, and she starts sniffing me like a bloodhound. She was like a mad mother. Mothers against decent driving. And she starts down at my shoes, and she's like, young man, do I smell alcohol? I'm like, lady, come on. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm at a stop sign. You come up from behind and hit me going 35 miles an hour. You spilled my fucking beer. I mean, jeez. And now, right, they don't want cars to start unless you can pass a built-in breathalyzer test. Have you heard that? Okay, I don't have a big problem with that, but I got a better idea. I don't think cars should start unless you can pass a built-in IQ test. Because it's the stupid drivers who are always making me the maddest. Huh? You're looking at me like I'm evil, man. I'm not. Did you know I'm from Detroit, originally from Detroit, and I love Detroit. And I grew up, and my sister's here, so she'll tell you all about this. We grew up in a tiny house. We had 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and I lived with my mom and 2 sisters. 1 bathroom. She said me and the Bushes became kind of friendly. And it was weird. I mean, they're all, and she might not admit this, more my older sister, they're very radical feminists. You know, they got that from my mom. So like it's pretty quick. So like my mom, I was an ugly kid, right? So my mom wouldn't get me glasses because she didn't want me to see what I looked like. I was an altar boy. I couldn't even get a pat on the back. My mom waited until the morning of my first date to have me circumcised. Yeah, and she called it brain surgery. Yeah, then she told me if I masturbated, it would grow hair on the palms of my hands. Jesus, did I fuck up my back trying to grow a beard? I'm not suggesting you try it, ma'am. My mother wasn't being honest. Do you see any hair? No. No hair. You know, I'm getting older, obviously. And, you know, you get older and weird things happen. So, like, you behave differently. So now I go get my hair cut every week. And so, like, I'm there Friday, and Ashley, who cuts my hair, says, well, now, what would you like me to do this week? Now, tell me, Ashley, what would you like? She said, somebody else. That's not very nice. Oh, it's crazy, you know. And I don't know if I had heart surgery for the first time. I had some stents. Anybody have heart surgery? They have stents put in? Yeah, and but you know, I had this lady doctor, and she went through the groin, right, to put stents in my heart. We got any doctors here? I mean, just leave it to a woman to know the quickest way to a man's heart is through his groin. I got this life expectancy clock. It's like actuarial principles. It's like digital. It counts that you put in your age, your race, your weight, etc., and it counts down exactly how much time you have left to live in days, hours, minutes, and seconds, digitally, right? That's kind of first day I got it. I rushed home. I punched in 6 beer. I lost 30 minutes. I lost 5 minutes of my life for each beer. I knew I had to change. I went to church the next day. I rushed home. I punched in my clock. I gained 3 hours for one trip to church. Can you believe that? I became Catholic. Now every morning I can go to Mass, and every night I can drink me 24 beer. And I'm never going to die. Oh, you gotta love that. What else? Oh, yeah, you know, I had a physical. As you get older, you tend to do that a lot more. And I failed the most important test there is. Guys, you know what that is? It's the finger up the butt test. Yeah, I knew I should have studied more. And when you fail that test, you gotta have the colonoscopy, right? A colonoscopy, you guys know what that is? So I go and it was like in an outpatient at a hospital. And I go in, and this doctor, she's evil. And she's like, she looks at me like, you know, they're gonna check me out for butt cancer. And she goes, well, I'm gonna charge you double. Because I gotta deal with 2 assholes. And then she takes this camera about the size of a grapefruit, and she massages Vaseline all over it. Then she sticks it up my butt, and she's got a joystick. And she starts maneuvering it through my anal canal. And there's a TV monitor overhead. And she's liking it too much. She's like smiling and laughing, and I don't know, doing U's and stuff. And all the people in this room are watching her go through my anal canal. And then she starts jumping up and down. And she's all excited. She found a couple Klingons. Even worse, she found one of my dad's boots from like 1988. What was left of it, you know? I don't know. Well, you know, greeting cards. I mean, like I have little nephews and nieces and greeting cards. It's like now you can get a greeting card for anything. So my little nephew, in fact, my sister's son, one of his goldfish died, right? Okay, so there's a card card for that. Go to Hallmark. I got a card. I put in a $5 bill and I gave it to him. Next thing I knew, all his fish started dying. It's like one every day. I can't afford it. Then he comes up to me and says, hey uncle, hey uncle, hey uncle. How much for my kitty cat? Was that a cat? Hell, $1,000. I had it in a box the next morning. You know what? No, Christmas cards are horrible. People, God knows what a Christmas card is, but people, they send Christmas cards without thinking. A couple years ago, I got 23 Christmas cards from the same person. 23, they were identical. It's like computer-generated address label. No handwritten note, just a pre-printed Merry Christmas. And get this, a stamped signature. They didn't turn out to write a stamped signature. It said, love, Mom. I don't know, I'm to the point now where I only send a Christmas card to somebody if they send me a card first. And so I decided to have some fun with it. I sent Christmas cards 2 years ago to 15 perfect strangers. Never met before. You know what? 3 of these people sent me cards back. One lady sent me a fruitcake. I had so much fun, I did the same thing last year. But I took the time to write a personal note in each one. I was trying to get a better response rate. And then I wrote something like this. Merry Christmas, Ashley. I'm so relieved that I finally found you. I've missed you so very much. I hope I get to see you again soon. Love, Don. Your real dad. Thank you, I'm Don Peterson.
If somebody's choking to death, you can save their life by blowing really hard into their asshole. Or at least make the last stop before they die one of confusion rather than terror. When I'm trying to lose weight, I like to think of my growling stomach as a sound of ice cracking on the lake of my fat ass. I love sitting in front of heat vents, but if I sit there too long, I start to sweat, and then my ass and groin area starts to alternate between swampy wet and desert dry. I'm a little afraid that by doing that, I might accidentally create a more durable breed of pubic lice. Salt preserves food. I think it does the same thing for people because the salt from my profuse butt sweat has kept my butt skin silky smooth. Hopefully everybody's done eating. The purpose of sandals is to expose your feet to the air so they don't sweat. I have a sweaty butt problem, so I need butt sandals, which would basically be a Speedo with a toilet seat lid glued to the back. Sitting in a hot church listening to a preacher try to scare you with stories about hellfire and the apocalypse is a recipe for butt sweat disaster. That might be why the seats at church are hard wood instead of absorbent fabric and are called pews. Recently, I was thinking about Kim Kardashian's ass. I don't know if she gets swamp ass like I do, but with an ass that big, she probably gets excellent airflow down her ass crack to cool it down and evaporate any butt sweat. What? Isn't that what you think about when you see Kim Kardashian's ass? Yeah, of course not. If I ever become a famous comic, I want to get a fluffer. Not to blow me, but to blow on my ass to dry it off before a show. This set works better in a hot back bar. The moon's face always looks at Earth. I think it's because the moon's hiding its ass because it's been sitting and sweating. And it's afraid its butt sweat is visible through its khakis. What? Have you heard that one before? My butt sweats so much that if a dog were to sniff it too intensely, it might drown. My ass sweats like Drake getting chased by Chris Hansen. My ass sweats so much that to me, all toilet paper is wet wipes. My butt sweats when I'm nervous, and I'm terrified of heights. So if I ever rode a ski lift in the summer, the ski lift seat would turn into a butt sweat water slide of death. When I'm nervous, I get hot and gassy, almost like I've become the heat vent that I love so much. Although, unfortunately, not gassy enough to blow dry my butt sweat. I also sometimes have to take nervous shits, which I like to call stress pebbles. Bowling should be slang for taking a shit. A strike is when the shit comes out so clean you don't have to wipe. A spare is when you think you're done pooping and start to wipe and realize you have to shit more. A 7-10 split is when you somehow get shit on both sides of the toilet seat. Everybody's seen it. And a gutter ball is when you miss the toilet completely and shit on the floor. One time I got some coal as a gay gift at an extended family Christmas party, and I was excited because I heard about underwear with charcoal in it that can filter out the smell of farts. So I immediately shoved all the coal down my pants into my underwear. But strangely, it didn't filter out the smell of my farts at all. Turned out it wasn't actually coal. It was chocolates made to look like coal. And they melted and made it look like I shit my pants.